Take this overboard now.
Happy Wednesday, T Squad. It's your girl Keisha, and I am here with this week's AlTea, All Shade, Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 5 review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken seriously. So if that works for you, then let's get into tonight's review. So we're going to talk about Nicole and Chris first this week. So in their segment of the show, at one point she brings up old Nicole. And he was like, who is old Nicole? Like, girl, you got split personalities, you're schizo, like you got multiple personality disorder. What's going on, girl? He was kind of concerned because, mind you, she had just told him that she was in a relationship where she was allowing somebody to put out cigarette butts on her. Meanwhile, he was just over there getting his feelings hurt by broads. And he was kind of looking like, okay, so she has dealt with some traumas and they are by first worse than mine. So she tells him that, she used to drink a lot and go party all the time and was all about herself and being really selfish until she got in her late 20s and decided to make a move and change herself and everything. And I was like, I understand that they have a short period of time where they have to learn so much about each other and everything, but I need for her to just simmer it down a little bit on all of her past like trauma, because it's just like, girl, calm it down. Like, this man only known you 4 days. Like, let that come out a little later on. Like, Jesus Christ. So she asks him, does it bother him that, she can lose her, temper a little easier than he can, because he's more laid back and reserved and, mild mannered. And he was like, I don't know, but if you do that with me, I'm not going to take it. Like, he made sure she understood that he ain't no pushover and he ain't just going to be taking anything from her. She was like, oh no, of course you shouldn't take that. No. So then later on in the episode, they have dinner with one another and he brings up kids and was like, is that something that you want? Because we're both in our 30s. And she was like, she's open to it, but not really dying to have kids. Like, it's not on her to-do list for real. And in her confessional, she states how she doesn't want to halt her career. Like, she's in her prime right about now, and she doesn't want to risk getting pregnant and then having to put things on pause and it, messing up her career. But he's made it obvious that he wants children. So this is a big factor that they really need to sit down and really have a stern conversation about, because she asked him, like, is this something that you are looking towards doing like soon? And he was like, no, we can revisit this conversation like a year or two from now. A year or two from now is a long time in fertility world. You know what I'm saying? Once a woman hits her 30s, the chances of her getting pregnant decline every year. So if this woman is unsure about whether or not she want to have kids, and then you saying that we can go back and revisit this 2 years from now, that's a lot, homeboy. Y'all need to be talking about this now, because it may be a situation where 2 years from now you want a child and she can physically have one but just don't want one. And then what? Then what are you going to do? Because that is not a red flag, but that's a deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? Kids or no kids, that's a big thing. And I don't think that that's something they really need to push to the side. Then we're going to head on over to Jasmine and Eris. They sit down and talk, and she admits to being a workaholic and that, when times get tough, she does tend to shut down. And, he says that he will be there for her. He will help her out in any way necessary, that he will be there for her mom. Because remember, her mom has cancer and she's going through chemo treatments. And he was like, he had no problem like going to sit with her, doing her chemo and everything, which was really nice. And I really commend him for saying that. Now we'll see if he'll actually do it. Because it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to do it. She appreciates it too as well, and hopes that he does keep his word, because she's used to doing everything on her own. So They then go and have dinner with one another, a really nice romantic dinner. And she was like, I'm sure there's more you want to know about me. And Eris was like, what's your favorite sexual position? And this is the face she made after he asked her that. Because she was looking like, what? Like, huh? Like, out of all the questions you can ask me, this is what you decide to ask me, sir? Really? 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 This is what we doing? So she was like, no, I'm not answering that. And he was like, why? Like, you don't like talking about sex? And she was like, it's not that I don't like talking about it. I'm just more modest in that department. And he was like, it's giving class, it's giving lady, but it needs to give whore. And she was laughing, and she handled it well, but it's obvious that he was playing but being serious. I do that all the time, where you'll put a joke out there to test the waters to see how a person will respond, and you disguise it as a joke, but really you're being, serious. And I just felt like it was inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, bro. Like, come on. Like, grow up. He real childish. And in his confessional, he says that, he can't wait to put that demon side out of her because he knows she got it in her, and he can't wait to be her sex mentor. He's never been that, but he'll be that for her. And it's just like, okay, you want to have sex with her. Great. It's great that you're attracted to her. It's great that you want to be intimate with her. But can you at least on day 4 or 5 try to learn what's her favorite number? Like, does she snore? Like, what is going on? Do you brush your teeth at night? Can we have those types of conversations, sir? And this goes back to the whole player thing with him and being with multiple women and this, that, and the third. And it's just like, this is somebody that you married and gave your last name to. You can get to the sexual positions at another time, sir. Like, please simmer it down. Please, 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 please. So then at the end of the episode, they have another conversation about relationships and things. And he admits that he's never been in love before. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, she was totally taken off guard with that. She was looking like, why would these people set me up with a man who's never been in love before? And now I'm married to a person that's never been in love before. Like, come on now, bro. Like, the odds are stacked against her. So, like I said, she's very taken aback. She's trying to adjust, but it's a hard thing to like wrap her head around in that second. So she was like, do you have to be in love at the end of this to say yes? And he was like, I don't know the answer to that. I've never been in love. It would seem pretty hard, like, for me to be in love by the end of this, but I'm not saying that it can't happen. You might not be in love with me at the end of this. And she was like, yeah, that's true. But, at least I've been in love before. Like, you've never been in love before, but yet and still you rushed out and just married a absolute stranger. Like, that's taking more than a leap, child. I don't even know what to call that. You could tell that really put her off and really put her on guard. And it should. And it really honestly should. I think that all of the sex talk and now learning that this man ain't never been in love with a woman, and especially the fact that his longest relationship was with somebody for 1.5 years and he never was in love with her, I think has really raised red flags for Jasmine. And she really does need to have her guard up at this moment when it comes to him. He seemed like he a cool dude, nice dude, maybe a nice friend. But as far as husband material, I don't necessarily know if he's ready at all. We then go to Dominique and McKinley. In tonight's episode, they were really having a good episode. They put together a nice little package for them. He's not as as adventurous as she is, he was very hesitant to do some of the stuff, but he stuck in there and did the things with her, which really pleased her. It cracked me up though when they went out to dinner and they were walking on cobblestone and she almost broke her her leg and her ankle, child. But she played it off and she laughed or whatever. It was funny. Their attraction for each other is really building, as you can see in this photograph. He loves her bosom a lot. He's mentioned it quite a lot. He is a boob man, baby. He would have been in love with me before I got my breast reduction, baby. He would have been all over me, child. But I think that they've done the do. I think that she just doesn't want to admit it at this point. But like I said, the sexual chemistry is there. Now, other stuff, I don't really know. I don't know if they're really that compatible. Shaquille and Kirsten finally arrived to Jamaica. She's so happy, even though she complained about having to be in Jackson, Mississippi for one day. They get there, they love their hotel accommodations, and they go ATV riding. And he's very cautious because of the accident that he had. So he was afraid, and he even admitted that he was afraid. I would have been afraid too, considering what happened to him. And that scene showed me a lot about the dynamics in this relationship. She knew that he was scared. She saw that he was, driving slower than her and the tour guide. And you would think, with this being his first time doing this, knowing about his accident and everything that he had going on, that she would have slowed down and went on the journey with him instead of just speeding off and doing her, because she's a speed demon and she likes those things. And of course she needs to enjoy herself. But I thought that she would have just been a little bit more selfless and thought about him and tried to be there for him in that moment. That could have really been a bonding experience between them two. And it just said a lot about her, that she's all about self. Because I would have taken the initiative to ride slower, ride with him, encourage him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could have really been a moment between them two. But he did it. He got through it, which I'm very happy to say. So after that, they sit down and they're, hugged up and they're having a conversation about their relationship. And she admits that she wasn't initially attracted to him because of the bald head. Now, I don't know what the heck she's tripping off of, because every episode, Shaquille is getting finer and finer and finer to me, honey. Yes, ain't nothing gay about that man. That man is fine. He is fine. He is well-dressed, well-spoken, educated, got a career going for himself. Yes, sir, ma'am. I take him. Hello, Shaquille, if you watch this review. My name is Keisha. I'm well-educated. I'm successful, okay? And I like me a God-fearing man that got manners. Yes, God. Yes, sir. Hit me up in the DMs, all right? I'm a faithful woman. I'm a God-fearing woman. Yes, sir. She don't know what she had, but I would, okay? And if anybody knows him that watches these reviews, tell him I said what's up. So, he's kind of taken aback by the comment, but it didn't shake him because, he know he a good looking man, child. He was like, I don't know what you see, but you got me messed up. So, she also admits that she's not a good kisser and not big on kissing and wants to know, how he feels about that. And he was like, it's fine to take things slow or whatever. And she does mention, though, that kissing would help their connection. You know what I'm saying? Because, kissing is very intimate, very, very intimate thing. I don't know if I could be with somebody without kissing them, or be with a person that don't like to kiss. I don't think that that's something that I could do. I've done that in the past and I hated it. But yeah, I love to kiss. So yeah, that wouldn't really work for me. And then on the after show tonight, he admitted that when the cameras were off, she'll be like, don't touch me. She didn't want to be touched. But then when the cameras was on, she was always touching him and hugging on him and stuff like that. So that's why he was confused by her behavior, because she was switching back and forth. And I'm like, okay, Miss Kirsten, I see you. I see you. So, That night, they go and have dinner. And he says to her, I want you to pour out your heart so I can see who you are. And she says, one thing I would need from you is to be emotionally connected with me because I'm used to being independent. And Shaquille was like, I want you to be more intentional with yourself. We can both say we've poured so much of ourselves in others. How can I, as your husband, be more there for you? And she says, the only thing I need for you is to naturally talk to me instead of presenting your thoughts. At some points, I feel like you're talking at me. And after watching the episode and writing down exactly what was said between the two, I understood where Kirsten was coming from, because she clearly said to him that the one thing that she would need from him is to be emotionally connected with her because she was used to being independent. He then says, I want you to be more intentional with yourself because we've poured so much of ourselves into others. So how, as your husband, can I be more there for you? Or she ain't say nothing about pouring into nobody else, unless that was a part of the conversation they edited out. She didn't say that. So I understood where she was coming from with, you not listening to me. You're just giving me your thoughts and opinion and whatever you drummed up in your mind instead of listening to exactly what I said. Now I'm gonna give Shaquille the benefit of the doubt that maybe that was a part of the conversation that was edited out that we didn't see, because if not, then she was 100% correct with saying you talk at me and not with me. You know what I'm saying? So I understood her. And he even said, maybe I have started off listening to respond because I want the answer to be perfect. And she was like, why? Like, nobody's perfect. Like, just relax, just flow into it or whatever. But based off what he said on the after show tonight, he probably was so on edge and wanted things to be perfect because he didn't understand where you was coming from. Like, he was always, tiptoeing around trying to figure out if you was going to be hot or cold. Like, which one was it going to be? Like, he didn't really know where you was coming from because you was giving him mixed signals. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was trying to be, I feel in my mind, so perfect in her eyes. This episode, I really started to see even more cracks between Shaquille and Kirsten. Yeah, it's looking real slim pickings between them two. I don't know if that's gonna work out. Lastly, we have Clint and Gina, and they're at the beach. And he was like, we click, right? We click. And she was like, yeah, it's been good. Yeah. Yeah. Fellas, anytime a woman responds to you like that, with that, they are lying through their teeth, honey. They are not feeling what you saying. They ain't feeling you. They ain't feeling the moment. So she was like, it's been good. Yeah. But I don't know how you're feeling. I'm not feeling, though, this like overwhelming physical chemistry. I just don't want to force anything. How do you feel? He was looking like, what? Like he was totally caught off guard and with the fact that she was not attracted to him, that it was more like a friend thing at this point, because you can tell he was attracted to her. He was attracted to her. He was into her. And at that moment, when she said that she was not attracted to him, that really deflated his ego, hurt his feelings, and put him on guard. And it would have hurt anybody's feelings for somebody to tell you that they weren't initially physically attracted to you. Initially, okay? But then it was what she said afterwards that really put the knife in the heart. So he was like, I feel the same. He didn't feel the same. He said that, to protect himself. And she then was like, but physical attraction can grow over time because it did in her last relationship. And Clinton, his confession was like, to hear her verbalize that so early in the relationship, I'm disappointed. Like I said, it hurt his feelings. He was hurt. So then Clint was like, we do get along very well, though. That's unmistakable. That's really unmistakable. Like he's still at this point trying. And she was like, yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm in this for the long haul, but one thing is I don't vibe with redheads and with ginger features. Not to say you're unattractive, but that's what you are. And I'm like, what? You basically just told this man he is an ick. He is your ick. Like there's nothing about him that you are attracted to. And I didn't feel like that was necessary for her to say that. That was so unnecessary for her to basically tell him everything about you I don't like. You know what I'm saying? I'm not attracted to you at all. You know what I'm saying? It was so a better way to say it, and it wasn't said right. And it was mean. It was mean. It really honestly was. So on next week's episode, when he dishes it back to her, she can't get mad. You just told this man that him being a redhead, him having gingery features, everything about him physically you don't like. So then when he dishes it back at you, darling, you gotta be able to take it. You know what I'm saying? You pointing out this man features and attributes that you don't like that was fucked up. It was messed up and it was rude as hell. And that man's feelings was hurt. And you should be happy that he didn't cuss you out right then and there. Okay? Because it's just like, yeah, you cute, but girl, you ain't the finest thing out here. Like, chill. And I really thought that he was going to be the a-hole off the bat. But she was. Like, it's one thing to not be attracted to somebody, but it's the way that she conveyed it that was just totally out of line and out of pocket. And I gotta be on Clint's side with this one. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about tonight's episode of Married at First Sight down below in the comments section. I give tonight's episode a B- because they have a lot of slow lagging moments for this to be a 2-hour show. And it don't need to be 2 hours because at some point I found myself dozing off. Like I need to just get to the get. Okay. Make sure you guys thumbs up this video, like and subscribe and hit that notification bell button. I love you guys and I will see you on the next video. Bye.